There is a company called Flower, and it mainly focuses on making cultural games. However, their small company was now going bankrupt, because their recent cultural game releases were trash. If ever their next project would fail, that would be the end of their company. They have a meeting to discuss about this problem, and they suggested that they should make more extreme genre for their cultural game to attract more gamers. Suddenly, the black-haired lady asked their president about the man beside her. The guy was the main character, and he introduced himself as their new member on their company starting today. These two ladies were not okay with it, because they don't want man to get involved in their cultural game making process. After that, they have an introduction session. This lady is named Kasara, and she was 21 years old with zero experience in the clapping industry. Then this lady is named Momoka, 21 years old with zero experience in the clapping industry too. Also, this sleepy girl was named Yuri, and she was 25 years old, she was also an unexplored sanctuary. Lastly was their company president, her name was Nene, and surprisingly, she was 32 years old. It is caused by anime weird sense of genetics, and by the way, she was also have zero experience points too. Meanwhile, a blonde appeared. She was Reina, and she was the one in charge in canceling their company if they fail. For some reason, she was today to give them emotional support by donating some alcohol and junk foods. Then they have their party.
A few moments later.
The main character was a weak drinker, and he was knocked out from a single can. Meanwhile, Reina was feeling the global warming effect, and asked everyone to look at her while she do a self-unboxing. Momoka was warning her not to do that activity, because there was a guy with them today. However, it seems like she was drunk, so she doesn't care about his existence. Anyways, Reina asked him to make a speech about cultural games. The main character was a professional and experienced in cultural gaming, so he knows the reason why their company is failing. According to him, their game don't have enough cultural level to get the gamers excited playing with it. The main character may be useless, since he have no skills in digital art and script writing. However, he was very confident with his passion about cultural games. Because of that confidence, the ladies thought that he have experience in the clapping industry. However, it turns out all of them were on the same boat, and have absolute zero experience points acquired. Then Reina suggested that he should share his rod to them, for learning purposes. She tied the main character, and the ladies were observing his raging rod. Kasara grabbed the raging rod. The rod was very angry because it needed some personal space, so the rod counter-attacked, and gave the ladies some face-to-face encounter of anger in the form of color white. The ladies got mad at him for giving them a facial care treatment, so they beat him up until he became unconscious. He woke up on the middle of the night, and decided to grind on gathering educational materials. The next day, he apologized to the ladies for giving them some face-to-face encounters. Aside from that, he gave them a thick bunch of research data that he gathered in a single night. They were amazed at him, and now they think that he was a reliable man who genuinely wanted to help their company. The main character pulled out a silicone sword, and he told this unexperienced ladies to try this for educational purposes. Anyways, no one was willing to try that unholy item. After that, they started their work, and the main character was immediately promoted to a supervisor position, because of his wide cultural game knowledge. Aside from that, he was also working as their water boy, because later he will water their flower garden. While working, the main character noticed that the room was very hot. The air conditioning was not broken, so he tried to turn it on. But before he was able to do so, he experienced an instant domestic violence. It turns out that if multiple appliances will be used on their room, it will trip the breaker. The main character become curious on how they usually survive this global warming chamber. Then Yuri revealed that they just removed their basic gear to stay cool. He was imagining such a lovely art exhibition scenario. Anyways, the ladies stop minding about that detail, so they proceed on removing some of their outfit. This would be unfair to them, so they ask the main character to do the same too, for fair and equality. Couple of hours later, and the ladies were now done with work. However, Kasara was left with the main character, and she was desperately drawing. She asked him to review her work, and give his opinions about it. The main character was criticizing her melon-hugging rod scenario drawing, because it looks like a piece of dog crap. She cannot easily draw such imaginary stuff, since she lacks some real-life experience. Then she ordered him that they should try it for real-life reference.
Okay.
While she was doing the melon-hugging on the rod, she was complaining for some tsundere characteristics. In addition, the main character was recording her live performance, so she can review it later. He also requested her to create a very appropriate facial expression while doing this procedure. After a while, he gave her a full-body milk bath. Their room have no bathroom, so she cannot properly rinse the milk. By the way, he got another domestic violence from that. Then Kasara left their working station. The main character was not dense like normal idiot anime characters, so he concluded the possibility that Kasara likes him, since she let him record her wonderful performance. The next day, he was doing his water boy job, however, he messed that up, and spilled the drinks on Momoka, so he was punished with domestic violence again. Meanwhile, Kasara was drawing the silicone sword as reference. She was having a hard time drawing, because she needed the real one for proper reference. Also, she was wasting a lot of trees with every drawing mistake. Suddenly, she asked him to leave the real deal behind. During the night, when they were both alone, she started drawing the 100% organic and real rod. While she was drawing, she was giving it a foot massage therapy at the same time. In addition, she was trash-talking his rod to assert dominance. Then he coated her socks with some white soap. He checked her drawing, and finally she was able to draw a realistic one. Their work on their educational game continued, and Kasara stumbled upon a new scenario. The scenario on the illustration was about playing the feeding frenzy game the professional way, so Kasara will need him again for real-life reference. Also, he was recording her again for documentary purposes. She was a tsundere, so she decided that she will not let him paint her smile with the color white. However, the main character was full of surprise, so he let her experience some surprise explosion of fresh vanilla milkshake. After that, she reviewed the video, and she was surprised to see that she have a hidden talent. Many days have passed, and the main character and Kasara engage in various role play. She have acquired tons of valuable knowledge, and she was now sharing that knowledge to her colleagues. Also the president don't want to lose in terms of knowledge, so she pulled out her educational books. Anyways, their progress on their cultural game making was going smooth, and the next scenario that Kasara should draw was some clapping exercise. He suggested that she can gain her knowledge about it from documentary educational videos. However, she was willing to let him water her flower garden. The main character was hesitating, so she told him that she will go to the NTR man to do the job. He don't want that to happen, so he immediately accepted her job offer to him. Then she sit down properly, and the main character was the chair. She was very emotional, because it was her first time graduation ceremony. It was also the main character's first main quest event, so he easily released his special nutrients in the speed of light. That was unfair for the lady to experience a speed run, so the main character activated his unlimited stamina, because he was willing to give her more vanilla moments. They went to the window, and they were doing some sightseeing. It was not an ordinary sightseeing, because there is a clapping musical orchestra involved. Because of his unlimited stamina, he was able to give her liters of warm and fresh vanilla milkshake. In the end, she was able to survive his all-out attack. The main character realized that she was a cute girl despite of her tsundere attitude. He suddenly confessed to her, so she transformed into her tsundere mode, and do the tsundere cliché lines of rejection.
That right there is emotional damage.
Unexpectedly, these three ladies were listening on their conversation, and probably they also heard their clapping sounds too. 3 months have passed, and the ladies improved their cultural knowledge and skills for their cultural game production. Suddenly, the main character remembered his rejection. That was some sad moments for him, however, he realized that he was a cultural anime protagonist, so he needed to take the harem route and share his blessings to all the ladies in the show. Later that night, Momoka was left with the main character. The main character wanted to help her work, but she wanted to become a strong independent woman. He insisted to offer some help, so she accepted that offer in the end, and they have roleplay with the script that she wrote. Then he give her melons some massage therapy. His rod was now ready to participate on this role play, and it was standing in 90 degrees. She used the power of friction, and then she received her first time graduation. She will punish his rod using her sacred canal, and that punishment is an absolute win for him. Aside from that, she released some verbally created water, and let him get hydrated. Because of this oral care culture, he awakened his cultural instincts, and gave her the thrust of destruction. Then he injected his liquid calcium into the underground sanctuary. On the next scenario, the ladies were having a hard time with their work. They cannot focus, and it was caused by work pressure. The main character noticed that their productivity was reduced, so he suggested that they should take a break and relax. They went to the beach and play. These three ladies invited them to play beach volleyball. Reina and Yuri did not join, so the main character joined instead. However, Their beach volleyball was just pure violence. Kasara threw the ball again, and he was able to dodge it, however, he was hit by the watermelon instead. The main character run away from this violent girls, and he was getting chased by melons with quadruple jiggle physics. After having a lot of fun on the beach, the main character received a call, and it was a call from Mother Nature. Yuri showed him the way to do his personal golden business. Unexpectedly, she wanted to receive his shower of glittering gold. Her cultured offer was too much for him, so he was not able to do his golden business, because his sleeping rod was awakened by her. Luckily, she knows how to fix this minor problem, and gave him a relaxing treatment called the Gulp Gulp 3000. Then he paid her treatment with his pure liquid white gold. Despite that excellent treatment she gave him, his rod was still an aggressive creature, so she will let him use the sacred sanctuary to fix his rod's anger issues. Then she ride on the Iron Pegasus for free transportation. Eventually, his rod was now relaxed, so he was now able to give her a shower of glittering gold that made her create a crystal clear water spring. It was now late afternoon, and it was time to go home. Kasara enjoyed a lot today that she become emotional. The main character noticed that, so he told her that they should visit the beach again with everyone next year. On the next scenario after their working time, Kasara invited the main character to come with her in her apartment. She wanted him to help her in her side quest event. She was making some cultured comics, and she wanted his help to finish it by tonight. After a while, the main character remembered that she was a tsundere, and she was giving him some signals to water her flower garden. Then he gives some handling with care on her backyard melons. She was complaining about his surprise attacks. However, there is nothing she can do about it, because his rod was now standing and ready to initiate. He give her a backyard applause, and she cannot resist the power of the rod of destruction, so he give her an indoor explosion. Then he use his instant recovery, and continued the standard clapping procedure. After a while, he used the power of friction in her backyard melons, and showered her with vanilla milkshake invention. Aside from that, he let her drink some of the leftovers. Anyways, the vanilla moments consumed a lot of time and disturbed her schedule, so she will not pay him for his assistance in her cultured comics. However, he was already paid, since the cultural payment option was a legal payment method for him. They continued drawing until morning, and eventually they were done. He wanted to have beer as a reward, but she won't offer alcohol to him, because she was afraid that he will become a monster clapper again. Suddenly, she opened up the topic about his feelings to her. She was now willing to offer herself, and become his personal vanilla storage. The main character accepted that wonderful offer, and they were now officially dating. They were now official, and she was already doing some domestic violence right away. However, the main character was fine with it, because he can handle tsundere. In the next scenario, they continued their cultural game-making grind. After a couple of days working, they managed to finish their game. The main character reviewed the game, and his culture sense was able to approve their final output. Then they celebrated their completion with a party. Everyone on their team was very emotional, and happy that they belonged to this company. Reina arrived, and she was here to collect the finished product, and for some reason she was already drunk. She removed all of her coverings, because they need to reward the main character for his hard work. Then Reina removed all the ladies' full body cover, and bless the eyes of the main character with a beautiful full course art exhibition. By the way, there was a bonus part. It was some wholesome vanilla moments of Kasara and the main character, and Kasara was wearing a maid outfit. After that vanilla moments, they were caught again by the other members of their company. They were doing this, because they needed to gain some educational knowledge about the art of clapping for their next cultural game production. That's all for this video, and there will be part 2 for this. Also, here is your educational material of vanilla flavored show. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to prepare some tissue, because watching the sauce will make you cry with the tears of success.